cafe was warm with afternoon sunlight and the scent of fresh coffee. Grace Bennett sat alone at table 7, checking her phone for the third time. Her blind date was 20 minutes late. At 31, she should have known better than to get her hopes up. But her friend Kelly had been so insistent about this setup. "Jordan is perfect for you," Kelly had promised. "Successful architect, kind, thoughtful. He specifically asked to meet you." Grace was about to leave when 2 little girls appeared beside her table. They were identical twins, maybe 5 years old, with blonde, curly hair and matching lavender sweaters. They studied her with serious expressions, then looked at each other and nodded. "Are you Grace?" one asked politely. "I am," Grace said, surprised. "Who are you?" "I'm Mia and this is Maya," the first girl said. "We're 5 3/4. "Are you our new mommy?" Grace nearly choked on her coffee. "I'm sorry, what?" "Our new mommy," Maya repeated, as if this were a perfectly normal question. "Daddy said he was meeting someone special today. Someone who might be our new mommy. Is that you?" Before Grace could respond, a man rushed over, late 30s, handsome in a harried way, carrying a backpack and looking panicked. "Girls! You can't just—" He stopped, seeing Grace. "Oh God, you're still here. I'm so sorry I'm late. My sitter canceled last minute and I had to bring them and they ran ahead while I was parking and—" He took a breath. "I'm Jordan. These are my daughters. And I'm mortified." "Daddy, we asked if she's our new mommy," Mia said proudly. Jordan's face went pale. "You did what?" "You said you were meeting someone special," Maya explained patiently. "Someone who might be our new mommy." "So we asked." "I said no such thing," Jordan insisted, then looked at Grace desperately. "I absolutely did not tell them that. I have no idea where they got this idea," but Grace was laughing, genuinely laughing for the first time in weeks. "It's okay. They're adorable and very direct." "They're horrifying," Jordan corrected, but with obvious love. "Girls, go sit at that table right there where I can see you. Do not talk to anyone else. Do not ask anyone else if they're your new mother." The twins reluctantly moved to a nearby table, but kept watching Grace and their father with intense interest. Jordan sat down, running a hand through his hair. "I'm so sorry. This is literally the worst first impression possible. I understand if you want to leave." "Are you kidding?" Grace said. "This is the most interesting blind date I've ever been on. Your daughters just asked if I was their new mother within 30 seconds of meeting me. They've been obsessed with the idea of me dating since their mother died 2 years ago," Jordan explained quietly. "They don't remember her well. They were only 3 when she passed from cancer. They see their friends with moms and they want that. It's heartbreaking." Grace's amusement softened into empathy. "I can't imagine how hard that's been. For all of you." "It's been impossible," Jordan admitted. "Raising twins alone, working full-time, trying to occasionally have an adult conversation. Kelly's been pushing me to date for months. I finally agreed to this setup and then my sitter canceled and I panicked. I should have rescheduled. But you didn't. You brought your daughters. That's actually really brave. Or really stupid. Most women run when they realize I have kids. Then they're missing out," Grace said simply. From their table, the twins were whispering intensely while watching Grace. Then Mia got up and walked back over, carrying something. "We made you a picture," she said, handing Grace a napkin covered in crayon drawings. "This is you," she pointed to a stick figure with yellow hair. "And this is Daddy. And these are me and Maya. We're a family." Grace looked at the drawing, then at Jordan's mortified expression, then at these 2 little girls who'd just drawn her into their family after meeting her 5 minutes ago. "This is beautiful," Grace said honestly. "Thank you, Mia." "So are you going to be our mommy?" Maya asked, joining her sister. "Maya, you can't ask people that," Jordan said gently. "Grace just met us. She doesn't even know if she likes Daddy yet. Do you?" Both twins asked Grace, completely serious. "Do you like our daddy?" Grace looked at Jordan. This man who'd brought his daughters to a blind date because he had no other choice, who clearly loved them desperately, who was trying so hard to be enough for 2 little girls who'd lost their mother. "I think I might," Grace said carefully. "But we need to get to know each other first. All of us. We can tell you about Daddy," Mia offered eagerly. "He makes really good pancakes. And he reads us stories every night. And he cries sometimes when he thinks we're asleep, but we hear him. Mia, Jordan's voice cracked. Sweetheart, you don't need to tell Grace that. But it's important, Mia insisted. You're sad a lot. You need someone to make you not sad. Maybe Grace can do that. Grace felt tears in her own eyes. These 5-year-olds were trying to take care of their father, trying to find him someone who'd ease his grief. How about this? Grace said. Your daddy and I will talk for a while. You two can color at your table, and maybe if things go well, we can all go to the park together. Get to know each other properly. Would that be okay? The twins nodded enthusiastically and returned to their table. I'm really sorry, Jordan said again once they were alone. This is so inappropriate. They want me to be happy. They think finding someone will fix everything. Will it? Grace asked gently. I don't know. I haven't tried. I've been so focused on surviving, on being both parents, that I haven't let myself want anything else. He paused. Until Kelly showed me your photo and told me about you. Then I wanted something. That terrified me. What did she tell you? That you're a teacher. That you love working with kids but don't have any of your own. That you've been single for 3 years after a difficult breakup. That you're kind and funny and maybe lonely like me? She was right about all of that, Grace admitted. They talked for an hour while the twins colored and occasionally checked on them. Jordan told Grace about his wife, how he'd loved her, grieved her, was trying to honor her by being the best father he could be. Grace shared her own story, an engagement that ended when her fiancé decided he didn't want children, how she'd built a life around her students but still felt incomplete. Your daughters asked if I was their new mommy, Grace said eventually. That's a lot of pressure for a first date. I know. It's absurd. It's also kind of lovely. They're looking for someone to complete their family. That's what I've been looking for too. I just didn't know it until they asked. Jordan looked at her carefully. Are you saying what I think you're saying? I'm saying let's go to that park. Let me get to know Mia and Maya. Let me get to know you. And let's see if maybe, possibly, their instinct was right. They went to the park, all 4 of them. The twins took Grace's hands immediately, showing her the playground, telling her about their kindergarten, asking if she'd come to their school someday. They really like you, Jordan said, watching his daughters with Grace on the swings. I really like them, Grace admitted. And I really like you. This is the strangest first date I've ever had, but also somehow the most right. Over the following months, Grace became part of their lives. She attended kindergarten events, helped with homework, learned about their mother, and honored her memory. The twins called her Grace, but would sometimes slip and call her Mommy when excited or upset. Is that okay? Jordan asked the first time it happened. I can correct them if it makes you uncomfortable. It makes me hopeful, Grace said honestly. A year after that chaotic first date, Jordan proposed, with the twins' enthusiastic participation and a ring they'd helped him choose. You walked into that cafe for a blind date, Jordan said, and my daughters immediately asked if you were their new mommy. It was inappropriate and presumptuous and somehow exactly right. You've become their mother not by replacing the one they lost, but by loving them so completely they have room in their hearts for both. At their wedding, Mia and Maya, now 6.5, gave a speech they'd practiced with Grace. We asked Grace if she was our new mommy on the very first day, Mia said. She said we had to get to know each other first. Maya continued. But we already knew. They finished together. We knew she was right for us. We just had to wait for the grown-ups to figure it out. Years later, when people asked how they met, Grace would tell the story of the blind date that started with the most direct question she'd ever received. I was sitting alone, waiting for my date, when twin 5-year-olds walked up and asked if I was their new mommy, Grace would explain. I hadn't even met their father yet. It should have been terrifying. Instead, it was perfect. They saw what they needed and asked for it directly. Children have that gift. They haven't learned to hide what they want. Those girls wanted a mother. I wanted a family. We found each other because they were brave enough to ask. Jordan would add, my daughters ambushed my blind date and asked if she was their new mother. Most people would have run. Grace stayed. She saw past the chaos to what we were, a family with a missing piece, hoping to find someone who'd fit. She fit perfectly, Because sometimes the most direct question is the most honest one. Sometimes children know exactly what they need and aren't afraid to ask for it. And sometimes being asked, "Are you our new mommy?" by twins you've just met is exactly the beginning you were waiting for. Audacious, overwhelming, and somehow absolutely right. If this story touched you, share and subscribe for more tales about families finding their missing pieces. Comment about a time when someone asked you the question you didn't know you were waiting to hear. Those moments of direct honesty can change everything.